All right. What's up, guys? Thank you all for joining. Let's get straight into this without any further ado. You guys can all see the screen. Perfect. We're rolling. All right. Forex. We'll start off with / commodities, and then we'll get into some crypto. Bearish on the hourly. Probably bearish on the 4-hourly now. No, we are still bullish on the 4-hourly. This is not a structural break because we never cleared this high. Not interested in any sort of ranges at the moment. I'm just gonna be a bit patient there. Ran through this CME. I'd much rather look at this range than anything here in between this high and this swing low. Yeah. We'll play the patient game here, set our alerts. Sweet. Still bullish on the hourly. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're still bullish across the board here. And then we would still be bearish on the daily, I'm assuming. Yes, we still are. This model isn't really going to form itself. You can tell already. Yeah, like we still have our alert set. Patience is the plan here for silver. Oil running through supply. Absolutely tearing it down. Leaving demand in the process. Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna have to. Oh, actually, no. The phone is ringing, but I'm just gonna let it ring. All right. All right. We have really, really beautiful looking demand here below. And now we can pull this back. Same thing here, just be patient. No setups really presenting itself at the moment. Let's go to USD CHF. These were in order of potential setups to least potential, so I'm curious as to what was going on here. Weak break of that. Alright, so why am I, this is a very simple question, a very simple answer to a very simple question, or a very simple answer to a very good question. Why am I not using this and extending my range so that if this could Alright, why would I be not extending my range? So then this becomes a third tap. So something like this. Why is this not a valid model? Technically speaking, it's a valid model, but two things I don't like. Is that we have already deviated our tap one twice. First deviation here, second deviation here, third deviation, like at what point, At what point do you just draw the line? Because price can just keep doing this, you know, another tap, and then another tap, and you just keep redrawing these ranges and keep taking these longs off the breaks of structure, which it's just, you know, it could go on like this for a while. So I don't like how we've already extended too far. Second, how we've already deviated too many times. Second thing I don't like is this tap right here. There's no wick. Obviously this was the open, so when this normally happens, this isn't the right indicator for it, but unless I have one that shows, no. But yeah, point being, the open for the week essentially is here, and there's no wick here, so there's a high chance that this is eventually going to get taken out. Will it get taken out like in the short term? Potentially. Or will price, you know, just keep going up and complete this extended model? That can also happen, but I'm not a fan of this candle here, so I am not going to take any sort of longs here, even with a model like this. And then not to mention, at first glance, we have created some supply here. We can always validate that ourselves. It's not the cleanest supply, to be fair. Like, everything in here has been mitigated. That's been mitigated. That's all been mitigated. That's shit supply. So, like, so far, it looks alright. We've obviously ran through this demand. We can, however, use any sort of POIs in here to see what yeah, it's just terrible price action. Well, not terrible price action, but you know, it's at the weekly open, so I haven't really traded this type of price action before, to be completely honest, so I'm kind of just going to wait and see what happens. Like, look at all this. This is definitely going to get taken out 100%. That is technically speaking a naked low. It's obviously labeled as liquidity, but it is a naked low on paper. And yeah, I'm just gonna be patient here. I'm not gonna try and force anything. We are bearish on the 1 hour now. Let's see what the 4 hour says. we are also bearish on the 4 hour. So right now we're pretty much bearish across the board on this pair. So yeah, that's why context is so important, guys. And when you have this context here visually, and you can see bearish, 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 why would you long? It's pretty simple. Why would you long? So yeah, there you go there. GBP AUD, let's move on to the next. This was a beautiful, beautiful short which we took. I actually can't remember if I took this on stream. I don't think I did. I'll be able to validate this by the time of which I entered. Yeah, no, I would not have been recording here. So this happened late on Friday. I will walk you all through it. This was a beautiful 4.36 RR trade, which netted quite nicely. So yeah, essentially speaking, tap 1, Wyckoff flow, and you have your very near distribution model with your, tap 2 and tap 3. But you also do have the extended tap, which if I was to look at it from a up close perspective, yeah, so I pretty much took this as I essentially took this as a model 1 with your tap 1 and 2, and then this didn't really grab anything in particular. I wouldn't be calling anything in here extreme liquidity, as there's no valid market structure. Even if you go on the lower time frame, once again, no valid market structure. My confluence for entering where I did was that we had Asia highs, which got swept during London, and then this is where the so-called magic happened. We had a nice little sort of rainbow liquidity as we had London lows here. I'll draw this out if it's easier. No, it goes away. Anyway, you'll be able to see from this, London lows here, New York lows here, Asia lows here, London lows here again, New York lows technically here. So yeah, all these consecutive lows building up, which are just the perfect liquidity target. So I was confident on entering this without a extended tap, essentially. Like the return to zone was just too good to be true, which what gave me the confidence to enter, essentially. And yeah, I pretty much just entered on a pullback. That's kind of as easy as it, not as easy as it was, but as simple as it was for me. I wasn't on the charts. I wasn't paying attention when this exactly happened. And then I pretty much just entered for a slight pullback into here. Followed by a nice rejection, which is what we got. Let me see if I can still draw this out. Yeah, and we had all these highs forming quite nicely. And yeah, pretty much I entered a bit late. Ideally, best case scenario, which is what I would have done, but I missed out on it. I would have been entering right here. This is where I should have entered. Break of structure here, following the 2 minute. Bang. Bang. New high, and then bang, there's your break. So that's technically where I should have entered, but I did not. But yeah, the idea worked. Still netted me a nice 4.63 IR, so that was good. I am going to now remove all these drawings. And you can see this alert never got activated either. Are we still aligning with the context is the question. Technically we're bullish on the... Technically we're bearish on the hourly. And then we remain bullish on the 4 hour. No, technically speaking, let me draw this correctly. Okay, so we're in a downtrend at the moment. Still in a downtrend, still in a downtrend. This is not a closure, we're still in a downtrend. Okay, structure's broken there, structure's broken here, back to bearish. We are in a bearish downtrend on the 4 hour as well. Perfect. All right, that's it for GBP AUD. I'm just gonna let price do its thing. I'm not hoping. I hate using the word hoping, but I'm aiming for it to get to these levels and create our first deviation of this higher time frame accumulation range. So we will see what happens there. Let's go to GBP JPY. Plan remains for now. Still need some more data so far for the week. Maybe something happens here, we'll see. With Asia lows below us. So far this is way too low time frame to really, you know, yeah, you're looking at like 4 or 5 hours. Any demand in here? Not really. That's been mitigated. You can't just have this. If this could get mitigated beforehand, that would be nice. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in taking any sort of shorts here until this demand gets mitigated. Something like this, ideally. That's kind of what we're aiming for here. Obviously, we got this higher time frame move, but we can have, you know, look how little this range is in amongst this whole high time frame range. So we can get slight pullbacks. You know, we can get a distribution here, pull back into here, and then we can just continue going up. Like it's so possible. So just be patient there. Okay, unmitigated Asia lows. Some similar rainbow pattern here as well. Which might get taken out. Similar to GBP AUD. So this will be interesting to see what happens. And then just like GBP JPY, we do have this potential distribution forming. A low time frame, of course. We are still bearish on the 4-hourly, but we're very close to becoming bullish, depending on how this... Actually, no, the 4-hour highs here. My apologies. We're very close to... Let's draw a market structure. That's probably the easiest way. Yeah, bearish on the hourly as well. You're going to need a break above here for a 4 to 1 hour market structure high, which we will draw. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, the return zone just isn't that nice at the moment, so I do think we'll continue going higher. USD JPY. Gonna let this play out a little bit more. We have just entered supply. Yeah, very rarely do I take anything on the like Monday, even Tuesday sometimes, is you just got to give price a bit more movement. Bullish, 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 bullish across the board here. Doesn't mean we can't take, you know, accumulations upon retests. This could be nice potentially, maybe later in the week. Yeah, range is valid. We'll see what happens. Pre-planning is something like this. Mitigate demand, come back up, create our liquidity or, you know, extreme demand, and then sweep it all and break structure and go back up. That would be our pre-planning here, but wait and see what happens. Yeah, pretty clear demand here. So we'll see how we respond to this. Awesome. Yeah, that's it for now. Go to Euro USD. This is a some pre-planning which I had on Friday, which never got confirmed. As you can see, we were just waiting we mitigated supply, so this can go up to here actually. So it's easier to see. Like, decent setup, we mitigated supply. That was our market structure low on the, I think it was like a 3 minute. Maybe a little bit higher than a 3 minute, maybe a 5 minute. Oh yeah, could have been even a 10 minute. Yeah, 15 though, I don't think so. Okay, it was a 15 minute. Yeah, so this was our 15-minute market structure low, which as soon as we got a close below this, we could have entered, but we never got the low. So no confirmation means no entry. Pretty simple. And then we can see you kind of got that on the kind of got that opening here. We'll see if we continue going higher or not. Contextually, we're bullish low term, or low time frame, so we will see what happens there. Same thing, I'm just going to leave this to do its thing. Not really interested anymore. In fact, this is going to be my range. This will be my new range. Sweet. So this is what I will be monitoring now. Looks a lot better. It's not as stretched. You don't have to force things. If you have to redraw the range, redraw the range. Keep it simple. So we will monitor that. GBP USD. What a model this was, eh? I ran through it all. Crazy model this is, eh? Demand has been mitigated twice. Alright, we'll leave that as is. Revisit that one tomorrow. Well, this could be interesting. And this could be very interesting, depending on how we are. How we continue moving up. Yeah, alerts have been set. We are pretty bearish here, yeah. Very, very bearish here. Same thing, I just got to give this a bit more time. USD CAD. Euro NZD, maybe you can get something here. Maybe, but not really. You've kind of already had 1, 2, 3, and then you've already got a 4th tap here, so we don't trade 4th tap model ones. Very, very simple rule to follow that one. Although a really, really nice return to zone, but rules are rules. Demand below here. Perfect. Not to mention, technically speaking, we are still bullish on the hourly. And now we are also bullish on the 4 hour. Daily, what are we talking there? Probably still bearish on the daily, yes. AUD CAD. I'm not liking this. It's just way too abrupt of a move, you know. Bang. Like no real return to zone, no nothing. So I'm not going to look at this. We have mitigated this 3-day OBIF, which is good to see. Really, really good to see. And we're also creating the wick as well, so we could potentially see, or we could potentially see some form of low to mid time frame rejection here. Lovely. AUD CAD. Bearish on the... Well, we could be bullish now on the out, no. No, we are still bearish on the hourly. Still bearish on the 4 hourly, but depending on how this candle closes, it could be bullish soon. So we will see. And this is all just fairly uptrendy, so not much to see in terms of Forex at the moment. This can all be invalidated. Bias is still bearish for the week. We're probably now bullish on the daily. Yep. Bullish on the daily, probably bearish on the 4 hourly. No, because that's our 4 hourly high. There. So we're just bullish on the hourly now. And then market structure high here. Really, really nice. Sweet. I think that we might be getting some more action in crypto, so let's make our way there. Bitcoin, this very, very local scalp didn't really fall through there, as you can see. If only could, there we go. And then I don't like how we front ran this and didn't create our ranging environment, you know. Not a fan of how we front ran this tap one and didn't deviate. We have left some fairly strong supply below. Sweet. Let's have a look at ETH. ETH's kind of same but different. Haven't really left much supply. We have also front run this, which has been mitigated on the lower time frame, which we have spoken about before. So we don't necessarily have to get, you know, a big mitigation here. yeah, everything is kind of been mitigated on the lower time frame. No real clean supply POIs here on ETH. USDT dominance. We failed to break these highs. And we've continued to leave supply in behind. However, we have kind of bounced back, at least short term. Also leaving behind some supply POI there. Indicating, at least for now, potential signs of strength for USDT, but no real, it's going to be a bit hard to get any structure breaks here. This market structure high will be very interesting, as that might be valid on the 2 hour. No, it's not. It's not valid on the hourly. Yes, we got a 45-minute market structure high here, which will be interesting to see if we break and to what extent. That has been ran through. So it's a USDT for now. It's still showing bearish signs, but this could have been a phenomenal sign of our test theory, where you don't actually. Yeah, so the test theory is when you create your tab 1, you make your tab 2, you created your tab 3, which is a model 1, but then you actually, technically speaking, we broke structure there, but you essentially come back up, never breaking structure or taking out this low, you know, to psych out all these guys with weekends who would want to sell their positions, and then you pretty much just pump price up. So everyone that's sold on this downward move is like fuck, and then you just pump price up. So that could be a potential test pullback here, but we will see. It will be very interesting if we confirm this 45-minute market structure high, and if we break it, then yeah, all signs are pretty good. With never entered so we've ran through all of this, and I'm no longer interested in trading this. Reason being is I hate when a model 2, which is this, then gets the high of the tab 3 of the model 2 gets taken out again, but it doesn't exceed to make it a model 1, if that makes sense. So I'm never going to take this as a trade. I would only take it if we sweep this high. Where's my pen? I would only take it if we sweep this, but we continue to come up and create a model 1. That's the only reason I would ever take this. I would never take a sweep of this, but then even if we break structure, I'm not interested. You either take the model 2 in one attempt, or the only reason you would re-enter after a loss is if it becomes a model 1. You don't keep re-entering model 2s. Like if we sweep this again, I'm not going to enter that. You can't just keep re-entering model 2s. You would only re-enter if this becomes a model 1. So right now, and I didn't enter this in the first place because there was no break of structure, and it also got deviated. So Oh, technically there was, but we left supply behind, and then I said that I'll enter on the supply, which was here. I was planning to enter on this, but we ran through this. I was like, all right, I'll wait and see or if we reject upon this supply. I ran through this as well, and I was like, right, I have no reason to enter anymore. The only reason I would enter right now is if this becomes a Model 1. That is it. So we will wait and see there to see what happens. Put a little alert here. We might not even come up here, but that's my strategy. So had this Flightcoin entry, which was in the premium of a higher time frame zone, also really, really nicely mitigating supply. Thought process here, it is on my Twitter if you want to go and see it. I am the last samurai, similar to my YouTube. I had pre-planned for a Model 2 in real time. The Model 2 tap would have been here, but we never broke structure. Same thing, didn't break structure, price continued to come up higher. Broke structure here, but I did not enter. And then I simply waited for a retest of this market maker supply, which we got, and then entered on the break of structure on that. So pretty like this is probably as self-explanatory of an entry as you'll ever get. Really, look at these, like, man, really, really nice triple lows forming here, which if you know crypto, triple lows in crypto are a beautiful, beautiful liquidity POI. Like, can't get better than this. Triple lows. So yeah, we're still on this. So far so good. Just hold and stick to the plan here. I kind of cooked my entry, and at the time I sort of hesitated a little bit. Whereas if I pulled the trigger as soon as we got this candle closed, it would have gone from a 2.35 RR to like a 3.75 RR, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. Yeah. Ton. This can now be the new range for Ton. I'm not only interested in this now. Yeah, I think for today, it's going to be a lot of just giving all these pairs some time to formulate some more data. And just being patient all around. Everything here can go. This, technically speaking, is valid. And then we have our extreme liquidity there. Yeah, there's no real other clean liquidity POI here. That's all been mitigated. Yeah. But yeah, this is a pretty low probability range, at least upon first glance, but we'll see how price develops. Tau is actually not looking too bad here, to be completely honest. This could actually be quite good. Let's dissect this a little further. I have a feeling this will be valid supply. Mitigated on the lower time frame. Yeah, mitigated on the lower time frame, but we still can use this. And then in terms of liquidity, this is our liquidity POI. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Virtual. We are now in a potential accumulation here, but it is semi counter context. We have also left behind supply. This is now invalid, but we have officially made a, this is going to be a tap 2 of a higher time frame model. Yes, it is really nice, really nice here. From Litecoin, demand in here. This could be interesting. Render, invalid. Quant, nothing to see as of now. XLM, nothing to see as of now. We're still slowly making our way back towards this tap. Cake. Not interested for the time being. Hype. Nope. Maybe we get an accumulation, depending on how clean. Depending on how clean we come up into here. There's no real supply though in here, which is what I don't really like. We got some liquidity here. Oh, there's your supply right there. That is pretty easy to chart. Aave not interested. XRP not interested. front man, that is devious behavior from the market maker, front running this first deviation. Potential up here, 3 here, if you want to call it that. Sol still just coming into this demand, taking its time. Mitigated supply on Asta. And that's it. Now let's have a look at Trumpy. Nah, too market structure like. And then Brett. Yeah, no, not much, guys. Just let this, just let more data develop over the next few hours, day or so. We'll check back in tomorrow, see where we're at. For now, I'm still just holding and monitoring this Fartcoin short, which may have been taken at the correct time. Look, you can always second guess these things. That if only it was you had that extra R, but you know, 2.35 RR is better than no RR. So I'll look at it that way. That's it for now. Thank you all for watching, for listening. If you made it this far, subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.